What's up, YouTube? It's FitzBro, and I've got a little bit of early access for you for the Sultans Ascend DLC, and a few of my friends do as well. Ozzy Drongo playing as the Byzantines up against Mr. Merlin's Roost. So it's kind of the new Civ versus the old Civ, and I figured there'd be a lot of players interested in this matchup. Let's see what colors. We'll go with the purple today, purple and the red. And we'll be probably paying most attention to what Drongo is doing here, playing the Byzantines. There's a lot to unpack with the civilization. I have a Civ overview for the Byzantines, and I go through every detail about it. So go check that out on my channel, as well as I will be making some build order guides in my Discord in the Byzantine channel. So join the Discord, link in the description. Let's talk about how Drongo opened up here. Okay, so the Byzantines, they've got these cisterns, okay? And these cisterns, they buff out the villagers around them. So he built one right at the beginning. They cost some stone. And you see the aura. So his villagers have a little buff here. They're having 5% gathering rate increase. And what he did here is he opened with his mill. Now, why did he open with the berry? They don't have any special bonuses for gathering berries. Well, they slightly do. They've got a new resource, so that's olive oil. And the only way you can get olive oil is through berry gathering or from olive grove farming. So he's decided to go for the berry route, and he's probably going to be going for some kind of mercenary build here. Now, I have seen Drongo try an opening where he went for an early wheelbarrow, because you can speed up the speed with the research speed with Dialectus if you change it. But he didn't go for an early wheelbarrow in this situation. Okay, so we see Drongo gathering up his gold, getting his food, moving up towards the next age, and I think he just opened up with the berries so that he's got plenty of olive oil when he hits feudal to start making mercenary. So we'll see if he does that. Mr. Merlin playing as the Roost. This is an OG civilization. And actually, I will tell you, I think this is one of Mr. Merlin's best civilizations. So this could be a very, very tough game for Drongo. I've lost against Mr. Merlin's Roost. I know that he means business. Here comes that Kremlin that we all know, love, and fear. Going to be a super strong landmark of choice there. So he's got a good opponent here. This will be a good level set for, how good are the Byzantines, or how good is Mr. Ozzy Drongo? We'll see. Now, the landmark he's chosen. I thought he might go with the Grand Winery to go for a mercenary build, but he has opened with the Imperial Hippodrome, and I really do think this is probably the stronger landmark to choose going in the feudal. It's basically kind of like your School of Cavalry for the Byzantines, and you get some great abilities with your cav. So I'll show you when it's finished here, but pretty much you can unlock this Triumph ability that gives your horsemen just this crazy buff. It heals, they move faster. You can get upgrades, so when your horsemen kill villagers, you get gold from it. It's crazy. So I think he's going to open up with some raiding, but up against a Roost, it's going to be hard to raid under this Kremlin. Maybe he can deny the food expansions. Likely could be the option he chooses. By the way, map here, we got Dry Arabia. So this is as standard gets. This is our new Japanese biomes. That's what you're looking at here. Okay, so let's see into the next age. Now, Drongo has chosen to mine some stone. Now, fun fact, the Byzantines, they get a little bit of stone every time they complete a building, which you use that stone towards building your cisterns and your aqueducts, which you connect them, you level these up, and it scales. You can see 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, right? So he's decided 2 villagers is what he wants to use to gather some stone so he can afford his next cistern, which is going to cost 100 stone. Each one gets a little cheaper, or a little more expensive. So it goes 50, 100, 150, etc. And I've thought the same thing. 2 villagers seems like a good amount to have in order to just keep constant cistern and aqueduct production. So I think we'll see him drop that down here soon. He's got the Hippodrome. There's that ability I told you about, the Triumph. So he starts with 30 tickets, and it lasts for 1.5 seconds per every ticket you have. So this first one really packs a punch. Now, once you use the first one, it goes back down to 0. It takes a long time to regain that back up, but it's a really, really strong ability, and I'm sure we'll probably see him use this. Now, he's also dropped a mercenary house. So he is probably going to use that olive oil he got for free to get some mercenaries. We'll see which one he chooses. You can, by the way, click the trade post to see what mercenaries they can get if they build next to the trade post. These are like extra mercenaries you can get, basically. So he's not building by that right now. We see Mr. Merlin going for the boar. I'm surprised Drongo went for the Hippodrome, and he hasn't trained a single horseman. I thought he was going to try to maybe deny some of these hunts, and he very well could have. But there we go. We've got his cistern coming down. He's going to connect these 2, so that'll hit level 2. So he'll get 10% gather rate for his villagers within that aura, and he's continuing to gather, so he's probably going to make some more. Okay, mercenaries. He's chosen the Western contract. So this gives you option of longbow, Streltsy, and then, or longbow, then Lenschnekta, and then Streltsy through the ages. So it's to start off for 500 olive oil. Look, perfect timing here with eating those berries from the very beginning. He can afford this first batch of these. And it doesn't just train one longbow. You'll see you'll get a little batch of training, kind of reminiscent of AoE3 days, where, fun fact, all three of us played AoE3 together. Me and Drongo and Merlin and Pesty and Don Hardy and a whole lot of the gang. Snoopa played lots of AoE3 together back in the day. Okay, so Drongo has trained a few horsemen, but doesn't look like maybe he just scouted this, but it's probably too late now. Mr. Merlin's off to a strong start here. You see him with his stable, building some defensive walls, expects maybe those raids are coming in. By the way, look at those extra little wall segments there, right? They've really changed walls up now so that you can connect to trees easy. You can build really close to your buildings. You can really have a lot of defensive capabilities. And I think we might see even more quick walling, which is really prominent in AoE 2, become more of a thing in AoE 4. Okay, so he got a few of his longbows. By the way, there you go. You can see that. Where did his longbows go? There we go. First batch of them. 5 longbows right there for 500 olive oil. So basically 100 olive oil per longbow, but you got to train a batch of them. Okay, nothing really from the raid over there. He's built up that cistern, so he's getting some economic bonuses right now. And while you're enjoying this lovely cast of game, do know that I'm going to be hosting one of the very first show matches. It is going to be the Sultans Smackdown. I think I got the logo here. There it is. Look at that thing, the Sultans Smackdown. That's why the overlay looks a little fancy right now. Between Beastie, Cutie, and Puppy Paw this Saturday. Yes, this Saturday we're going to be hosting that, and every game round that they win, it's going to be $50, a bonus 75 for the series winner, and it's a play all 7 and only DLC civs. No mirrors. It's going to be super fun. So tune into the channel for that, and keep an eye on my Discord and my socials so that you don't miss out on that event. Okay, Drongo trying to do a raid, but these walls kind of paying off for Merlin right now, but it looks like he was able to get line of sight with his scout there. He's able to get some shots, and man, longbows show up, you're not even playing against English. Definitely going to be frustrating for some players, but he has been gathering berries from the beginning. Slower food, but he got olive oil and was able to get those. And yeah, he's going for a raid there early on. Knight's coming out. Drongo really doesn't have anything to protect those, so he might be losing all those longbows. These are horsemen, so I don't know. We'll see how they're able to do. There's a number of these. If Drongo kites a little bit, it looks like Merlin's going to back up for now, continuing to train some more units. His food gathering is still super safe down to the south. Up to the north side, Drongo taking some shots from Merlin's Kremlin. The town bell was rang. Did you hear that? That is brand new. Alerts nearby villagers to run to the closest garrison space. So this is just like, from older Age of Empires games. They included it, but it's not always ideal to use the town bell because it's going to garrison maybe villagers that you don't need to garrison, right? Because he just rang it right there and he saw these guys pop in and he didn't need to do that. Maybe he's trying to kill the scout. Okay, so Drongo continues to expand out with his aqueduct. You see he's got level 3 here, so he's currently bringing in a 15% bonus on his villagers gathering rates. Moving out to the berries to the forward, so he's trying to get more olive oil. And it's a little dangerous, right? He really wants the olive oil, but he's going to be in a vulnerable position should Merlin come in for a night raid, and he doesn't have any of his, he is training some. So the Le Montagne, those are going to be the spearmen for the Byzantines. So check these out. They have a shield wall ability, which is really, really cool. It puts them in defensive stance, and it nerfs their speed, but gives them, range defense. So that's going to be the spearmen of the Byzantines. He's making several of those because he knows knights are probably coming in, but the knights still might be able to do some damage. Let's see as Mr. Merlin comes on around. There we go. Drongo sees it. He did, by the way, upgrade his houses. Let me show you this. So he's got this upgrade, the border settlement. It's a pretty cheap upgrade. Look how much line of sight he's getting right now from his houses. These really help him know. Like, he would have known that raid was coming if it hadn't been for this upgrade. So that's really massive. I highly recommend building your houses on the border of your settlement so that you can have some line of sight, because line of sight is king in a lot of these situations. Okay, he continues to stay alive. Did he get the upgrade? He did get the upgrade to that he gets gold from killing villagers, but he's not really going for any horseman villager kills right now. So he's just kind of sitting in base, Would love to see maybe a raid down here on the south side. Okay, Drongo is got another batch of longbows. He spent his olive oil, so he's really gone for an early mercenary kind of supplement to his army, but it's not his... You can't just make mercenaries. It has to be a supplement to your army. So I really like how Drongo is playing this. Again, he could choose the Grand Winery instead of the Imperial Hippodrome, and it would actually return 60% 60% olive oil from the berry bushes instead of the 30% he's receiving right now. And by the way, I said berries and farms. I forgot to mention, you get them from fish as well. So no fish here, but I didn't want to leave that out as far as getting your olive oil. Okay, Drongo has a sizable army. Look at this, 21, 31 units versus 14. Mr. Merlin could be in some trouble. He does, of course, have the gremlins to call upon. We'll see if he does it. Does Merlin see this? He does. He sees that army's lurking there right now. So I'll be shocked if he gets caught off guard by this raid. Let's see what happens here. Okay, so army moving into position. Merlin knows it's there. Okay, longbows give away. If he didn't already know he was there, let's see what he does. Has he scouted this yet? I'm not sure if he has. Kind of surprised he hasn't checked that boar. Okay, so Drongo gonna go for this. Will he use the Triumph ability is what I wonder. That's available here at the Hippodrome. Look at that. That would give him additional movement speed, healing, damage. Maybe he'll use it on a big fight here. Okay, here comes those gremlins. Le Matinee are currently squaring off with the knights. We see the archers trying to pick off those spearmen, essentially. And the longbows doing a good job. Nice micro from Drongo there, picking off the gremlins with the longbows. He did not use his ability here at his Hippodrome. I was just double checking. That would have been a great fight to use it. He might have just forgotten about it, but it would have been a great buff to his army. And honestly, looking at how close this fight went, it could have really made the difference. You think about it, additional damage by 25%, moves you by 10%, so that is damage too, right? You move faster, you get to them quicker, and health by regen by +2. That could have been a massive buff to Drongo's army. He did not go for that. Okay, so Mr. Merlin holds that off. Drongo still with a decent sized army, but you really have to micro here. There's a number of knights with a lot of HP still left. And a few trickled units. Drongo's bringing some villagers forward. What are they doing? Is he going for berries? Oh my gosh, is he going for the berries across the map? I swear he's going for the berries for the olive oil. Oh my gosh. Using the longbows, he's picking off the archers right now. Doing a pretty good job at that, but the problem is he just doesn't have enough to keep his Le Matinee alive. You know, this might have been a good use for shield wall to keep these alive as he kites around and tries to pick off the archers, but he's going to retreat back home. This decided he's lost that fight, and that is Drongo going so greedy. It looks like he's honestly ahead economically right now. The bank looks good for him. His army is still like a decent size, but now Merlin's going to see these villagers. That's going to be really, really scary. I don't know. He might have bitten off more than he can chew, going for the berries across the map. Now, this is one issue I would say. When you're really relying on those mercenaries, you're kind of stuck unless you're going to go for a farm transition. Like, you kind of like have to go for these berries out on the map. And Drongo is just kind of out of position right now, not gathering with his villagers, despite having a villager lead. You know, an impressive amount of longbows, considering these are just from the olive oil, right? He's not the English. I wonder if we'll see any castle age come out of anybody right now. We're seeing a pretty extended feudal age. Drongo's going to build a lumber camp down in the bottom side of the map. Kind of a weird spot for that, and oh boy, could be trouble if Mr. Merlin spots this. It kind of seems like he may have saw it already. He's taking a look. I think he saw something, and there it is. Merlin scouts those villagers out. Drongo's in trouble. Oh my gosh, put F's in the chat. I know it's YouTube, but man, these villagers are in trouble. Please pay your respects, these Byzantine villagers. Oh man. Drongo is getting the whooping put on him right now. Merlin says, I have been maining the roost for plenty long. You're not going to sneak some Byzantine lumberjacks in the corner. I'm not sure what he was doing. It did look like he was going for the berries originally. But now Drongo just lost 8 villagers. He's not as far behind as you would think because he picked off a few, like one earlier. Mr. Merlin must have missed maybe some cues. maybe needs to play the Xbox for some villager auto queuing. I know I do. And we got the longbows though. A good mass of them going after the archers. And Drongo could really push the offensive right now if he wants to. Army size is stronger. He has a decent amount of spearmen to protect as well, the Lamantine. He needs to keep them with his army. Okay. I am getting confirmation from the folks in New York. Drongo was cradling to his 2 children, one in each hand, and actually his newborn was microing those villagers earlier. So that's what happened down there. We'll have to check our sources on that one, but I think that might have been what was going on. Okay, Drongo going to be burning down the hunting cabin again with the villagers on the berries across the map. Don't try this one at home, folks. He didn't learn his lesson last time. Oh my gosh, can you see? Oh, we can see this. Oh my gosh, what are you doing? He is a mad lad. He's just thought he would pull a quick one by Merlin, and that ain't gonna be the case here. We see he's killing a few hunting cabins, but meanwhile losing another 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 villagers. Not a good sign for the Byzantines. Let's check in on his aqueducts. Now, aqueducts looking good. His villagers are certainly well hydrated. Maybe he's making up for his less villagers with the fact that right now he is pulling in a whopping 25% extra bonus on these villagers. Look at that. So these things are super efficient. Move over HRE villagers, right? Nah, what the dragon villagers, gilded villagers? Okay, Drongo. 8 olive oil in the bank. He's been spending it. Okay, map military wise though, he may be a little bit down, a lot of it down on economy, but you know, he's got his aqueducts going on. He's got a sizable military force. He just needs to make some flaming rams, right? He needs to make the Rosafon. Using the houses for line of sight, by the way. You see this? Very nice move there. Perhaps he would have used this house to see that that raid was coming. Okay, going for a little bit of a raid there. Has he spent his triumph? He has not yet. Now, folks, you might think, you know everything just because you watched a few of the preview videos. Everybody's still figuring out how to play all these civilizations. So, he might have just forgot that this ability was here in his hippodrome. Or like I said, he's got cradling a child in each hand. But I'm sure we'll see this improve over time. Okay, Drongo right now. Moving to the north. What's he gonna do? He's got a big infantry force. I really want to see the shield wall get used here. It doesn't look like any of them are showing any signs of aging up at the moment. He's really spread out, is one thing to note. Okay, could he take this army? I don't know. It's a lot of longbows. He does have a horseman. He could use his ability this time. No gremlins. Uh-oh. Here we go. Big fight coming up. This could decide the game, because that's a pretty massive army. Using the longbows, he really needs to kite here. And we see him taking shots, but those archers are faster. They get within range. He moves the horsemen forward. Using the Lamantine, hardened Lamantine. It looks like he's able to brace against the knights. Now might be a great time for a shield wall. I don't think he's going to do it. Come on, use the shield wall. He could have maybe just sat there and tanked with it. Actually, could have been a really good use. But the archers continuing to face off. Going to be a close fight. Drongo looks like he's taking some very good trades. There we go. We see the Lamantine heading forward. The archers trying to pick them off so the knights can finish the job is what he's going for. Longbows are targeting some of these knights. He kind of needs to kill the archers and then his Lamantine can do whatever they want. But I think he might hold this one. It's a close one. Still a number of archers though alive. Okay, we see he's using the that's the longbow ability, right? The palings. I really wonder if you could use the shield walls when you're taking engagements like that, where you brace forward, as the knights come up. If perhaps you can use that to just to sit there and tank for your archers, because you're going to get additional, reduce the range damage by 50%. Like, that could be a great way to play these infantry wars. The Byzantines might be able to really play well in these spear archer, or not to mention spear longbow battles. I really like Drongo's unit composition here, taking advantage of that olive oil. The first few games that I played, I tried like just making mercenaries. It was like, oh, okay, I'm just going to slam out some olive oil, and it did not work out well. You have to build kind of a mixed army. Okay, so let's see what happens next. It looks like Drongo's kind of macroing to age up, but Merlin's kind of pushing. You see the army size growing. Oh boy, this is getting a little bit scary. Those archer numbers are pretty large right now. He's trying to kite back, and now we see a ram being thrown down for the roost. Mr. Merlin is out for blood, and Drongo sees that. He knows that's coming. Gonna need to train some more units. Oh, he's trying to age up. Okay, Golden Horn Tower. Where is he building that? Where's his landmark? Right there. Okay, so this is a mercenary landmark, guys. It produces mercenary units for free. The value of units produced is increased by the cistern's influence. So he's got a level 5 cistern, so he should get some very nice juicy units out of that landmark. But he needs to get completed. He's used to playing some Ottoman, you know, fast Imperial and getting these free units, but he's under siege right now. Can he hold up against the battering ram? Mr. Merlin not backing off. Okay, we've got the Lematine just keeping the knights at bay. A lot of knights, might I add. Longbows, he's not producing a whole lot of military. Now, he can get the Varangian Guard once he hits the Castle Age. And this has the Berserk ability of a really, really strong unit for the Byzantines. He could also go for the Cataphract as well here, which is the most Chad cav unit in the game. 180 food, 150 gold. It ain't cheap, but it sure packs a punch. And he's going to train one up. So maybe we'll see one. He's been saving up this Triumph, so he's at max. Maybe he'll save it for a Cataphract push. And by the way, look how quickly he's training units. That's because he's got the, look at this, the military unit production increased by 100% right now because he's on level 5. So these are training extraordinarily quickly. He can get any upgrades he wants to, by the way, if he changes this over to Dialectus. You see him doing it right now. He could get any of these upgrades really, really quickly. Look at this. Teardrop Shield's one of the unique techs for the Byzantines. He can get that in 17 seconds. Okay, will it be enough for him to hold on? We see that Golden Horn producing some longbows. He's also upgrading those. He's getting the veterancy contract to upgrade those longbows. He can also get Landsknecht next. But will they come in time? We got Hardened Lematine. They are not upgraded yet. Longbows aren't upgraded yet either. We do see the Cataphracts. Look at these Chads holding the front line. He finally uses the Triumph ability. You see how they're healing? That's the Triumph ability that will continue to last, so they've got increased stats, but not a ton of cav to use that, but it's kind of an all or nothing. He's trying to survive. Longbows didn't even reach their veterancy. Aussie Drongo taps out. Mr. Merlin bringing the pain with the ruse. I hope you guys enjoyed this cast of game here on the Sultans Ascend preview. I hope you're just as excited as I am to get you into this game on November the 14th. Make sure you pick it up on Steam. And if you want to learn more about these civs, head on over to my YouTube channel. I've got guides for all of them, and I'm going to be talking about them in my Discord. I've got channels for each civilization. Hope to see you there. Thank you so much for watching. Tune in for my show match this Saturday. Beastie Cutie versus Puppy Paul, the Sultan Smackdown. I'll see you there.